Can you hear me, guys? Is that better? Woohoo! So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we're all settled, this is where the afternoon gets either really emotional or really funny, or perhaps both, as we hear from some people that are very dear to the newlyweds. It is a Costello Carr family tradition that instead of champagne, you toast with a glass of port. So now is the time to crack open the bottle of port on your table and fill your glasses. And while you're doing that, to begin the speeches, I will now hand over to Neil, the proud father of the bride. So ladies and gentlemen, everyone, please give a huge round of applause for Neil, please.
Thank you, Prof. So, mality, 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 mality. So that's the formalities out of the way. And I can move on to my role to tell you a little bit about Stephanie. It says here, Stephanie was a curious child. Hang on. Sorry, I should have said Stephanie had great curiosity as a child. The first word she learnt was why. And unacceptable answers to her questions were, ask your mother, ask your father, because it is, or I'll tell you when you're older. After private nursery in Woolton, Stephanie attended Outlane Primary School after an appeal to the council as they tried to send her to one in Nedley, but Stephanie was, in our opinion, a bit better than that, and she went to a school in Woolton. Because of that, she went to Outlane in Woolton, which was a great primary school. I remember she was certainly a child who pushed the teachers, and at a parent-teachers evening, the teacher said to me, yes, Stephanie certainly tests me on a regular basis. So I was all right, so sorry, what does that mean? So, well, I told the class date, and Stephanie said, no, I think you'll find you're wrong, miss. It was a year later. So she said, no, Stephanie, I am the teacher, I think I know these things. So a friend of Stephanie's, who was Leah Dotty, who was another clever child for her age, said, no, I think you'll find Stephanie's right, miss. She said, and she said, and of course, that's when I realised Stephanie was right. I think Stephanie was about 8 or 9 at the time. So that told you a bit what she was like younger. At home, we used to play word memory games. So if I asked this room who, for example, Fred Jones, Stephanie Blake, Thelma Binkley or Norval Rogers were, would the room know? Maybe no. Well done. There you go. My brother. So, yeah. He had skin in the game, obviously. I was going to ask Stephanie if she would know, and she would obviously know. It was the male characters in Scooby-Doo. If anyone's interested, Norval Rogers was actually Shaggy. We moved on from there to non-verbal reasoning, which led Stephanie to several offers of secondary school. Blue Coat were the last school to come in and offer Stephanie a place, and I have to give Stephanie's mum Jan great credit here, because she, from the moment Blue Coat was mentioned, decided that was the best school for Stephanie to go to, and encouraged Stephanie to select Blue Coat, which she did, and I have to say what a great move that was. Stephanie academic journey through Blue Coat and Liverpool Uni is culminating shortly, we hope, in a PhD. I have her on good authority, actually. It's been complete for a while. However, Stephanie is desperately waiting to be Dr. Costello rather than Doc Martin. But to be fair, Blue Coat also taught Stephanie a lot of life skills as well as academia. Drama and dance were a particular favourites of Stephanie's, which she excelled at. And of course, she met the Shirley Girlies, who are here on block today and have remained really good friends with Stephanie all the way through that time until now. And of course, ultimately, it led to a meeting Matt, because he went to Blue Coat as well, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know. So that tells you a bit about Stephanie's upbringing, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Stephanie's personality and character, at which point I might start to wobble a bit, but there you go. If you look at the gifts and on your tables and all the extra bits that are put into this day, you'll understand that Stephanie always goes that extra mile. Some of you have probably had handmade gifts off her in the past, quite often because you were skint, but you have to say they're always very special presents from Stephanie. Her efforts, I would sum up as always, instructive, thoughtful and beautiful. And for me, that's a good description of Stephanie. She delights in the delight of others. However, it's our job today to turn that round and make Stephanie's day a delight. Because if we don't, she'll be that concentrated on making other people enjoy themselves. She'll just miss out on the day. So if she comes saying to you, what do you want, do you need anything, tell her to... So enjoy your day today, Stephanie, with Matt. As a very proud dad, I get to propose a toast. So if those of you who are comfortable standing or are able to stand, if you do so and raise a glass, I can propose the toast to Stephanie Jane Costello.
Stephanie Jane Costello.
I understand it's my role now to pass the microphone on to Laura.
Can we not have it across the table? Because I will take all those things out. We'll take everything out.
Switch on the side of the mic, or you need to turn on.
Excuse me. Hi. Can you hear me? Hello. Oh, there we go. Hi everyone. So my name's Laura, and I'm lucky enough to be the beautiful bridesmaid of honour today. First things first, please bear with me because it's not often you're asked to do a speech for someone doing an English Lit PhD and you hear vowels like that before you do your speech. A little bit nervous, but I'll do my best. So Steph and I have known each other 20 years. Now to put that in context, that's enough time for crop tops and scrunchies to come back in fashion again. And for J-Lo and Ben Affleck to figure it out after a 17-year break. You might know them better as Bennifer. But technically we've actually known each other longer than 20 years, having gone to the same primary school together. But it wasn't until we found out we would both be going to the Blue Coat School that Steph, fearless as ever, came bounding into my classroom to get my phone number. And she struck up an acquaintance that became a sisterhood. And when I say sisterhood, I really do mean that, because I know, to be part of, to be close to Steph is to be part of her family. And I know I'm not the only one who checked into Jan and Neil's bunkhouse on many an occasion growing up, whether it was for makeover and Spice Girl fueled sleepovers, for S-themed fancy dress parties, S for Steph, by the way, or to crash after nights out in the crazy house, we were always welcomed with open arms. Steph would even be so kind as to try and come pick you up in her dad's van when you didn't know the way, regardless of how many years it would be till she actually passed her driving test. Oh, sorry, did you not know that story? We'll talk later. We'll talk later. But we've traversed school, uni and young adulthood together, with all the highs, lows, laughter and heartbreak that come with it. And she even forgave me for a cancelled Glastonbury trip. Now, if that's not friendship, I don't know what is. But now we're here, and I know my fellow bridesmaids, Hannah, Caitlin, Claire, Kate and I count ourselves incredibly lucky to be chosen as Steph's team to support her on her journey to becoming Mrs. Costello. She's gone through life putting everyone else first, and it's an absolute joy to be able to repay the favour in a small way. I think everyone in this room would agree that it's Steph's strength of character that draws people to her, and it's her loyalty and heart that keeps them near. She's been an inspiration to me as long as I've known her, and she will be until we're providing a bunkhouse for our own kids. I'm probably cracking out the old Spice Girls routines and making them cringe. Can't wait. Okay, so now some of you might know Steph for her passion for film and literature, specifically psychopathy and femme fatales. Matt, watch the kitchen knives. But there's a very different side to Steph too. Growing up with Steph was like growing up with a modern day Jane Austen. She's a bit of a romantic at heart, and she loves a bit of chick lit or a rom-com, particularly 13 going on 30, and I think that's actually where that Mark Ruffalo crush started. She dreams of love stories and big white weddings. In fact, we once had a DT project at school where we had to create a wedding planner pack. And I've never seen Steph more enthusiastic about schoolwork in my life. And she already had most of the resources at home. But now I couldn't be happier to be witnessing her real life story. When Steph and Matt first met, I don't think Steph would disagree with me if I said she maybe wasn't feeling like the leading lady in her own story. Her heart had taken a few hits, and I wasn't seeing the same sparkle in her that I was used to. Then one night I remember sitting in the pub listening to her talk about the man she'd just met, and there was the sparkle again. And it was the earliest of days and she was playing it cool. But there was just this smile on her face that told me something was changing. And I think as a friend, the most we can ask for is not just that the man she picks puts the smile there, but also gives her the confidence to know she deserves it. There are a lot of things I love about you, Matt, not least our shared love of Guinness and cigars. And also that you're trying to rival Steph with the gifting game. I like it. But one of the biggest things is how much Steph can be so authentically Steph around you. You share each other's best qualities, you complement each other's personalities beautifully, you challenge each other to be better, but you never let the other forget that you're perfectly enough just as you are. So that's why, as much as this beautiful day is the happy ending in the rom-com, it's actually just the joyful beginning to a real romance, because true love stories don't have an ending. So here's to Steph and Matt and their next chapter. If everyone can be upstanding to raise a glass to Mr. and Mrs. Costello.
Cheers, everyone.
So next up, we've got best man, Dave.
Well done.
Well done, Laura. That's the
I'm the best man at my own wedding, innit? That's how good I am. Steph, can I get this wire out, please?
Am I sitting on it?
Got it. Yeah, the switch on the side, you need to turn on.
Oh, sound.
You got it?
Yeah, I've got it. Hello, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Dave. I'm Matt's oldest younger brother, and I'm one of his best men today. Firstly, I'm going to start off and say, Steph, you're looking absolutely beautiful today, absolutely stunning. And obviously the bridesmaids looking wonderful too. Yeah. And Matt, yeah, you haven't scrubbed up too bad yourself either. It really is brilliant and heartwarming to see how so many people have turned up today just to get a free meal. Over the course of the last 29 years, Matt's had a lot of first milestones. He's had his first steps, the first time he's ever rode a bike, the first time he's ever drove by himself, his first day at university, buying his first house, And today marks another milestone in Matt's life. The first time he's ever turned up on time. Yeah. And that's only because I drove you here, so you are welcome. But as well as this, Matt is someone I can always go to for advice. And he's always the first person who'd put his arm around me in a tough time. He is a confidant and a friend. Matt is loyal, caring, thoughtful, intelligent, and the single most dramatic person I've ever met. A few weeks ago on a stag do, Matt was convinced he'd contracted lead poisoning after breathing in smoke from some scrap wood that Tom had brought. And then he spent the next day curled up in a beer garden underneath some trees. When all it really was he just had a hangover. He stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning drinking. Having known Steph for over the past few years, I couldn't be happier to welcome you to our family. You're every part Matt's equal. And although you never knew our mum, I know that she will be thrilled to see how happy both are together. So before I hand over to Tom, I'd like to just thank Matt and Steph for letting me be part of their day. It's been brilliant, and I'm sure it'll carry on that way. So I wish you all both the happiness in the future. So that backwards, didn't I?
Alright everyone, so... Alright there. So, I'm Matt's youngest sibling, I'm Tom. And I'd just like to reiterate how nice it is to have everyone here today to celebrate Matt and Steph's wedding. So it's my turn to say a few words about our Matt, but it's not too long, so don't worry, I won't bore you all too much. Matt's always been a huge role model in my life, and a massive influence for me in loads of different ways, but I'm only going to focus on the good ones today. Matt's honest, funny, loving, thoughtful, kind and caring. I could go on, but I don't want his head to get too big. Matt's always looked out for me, Katie, David and our amazing father sitting next to him. When our mum died, I was 11 and Matt was 17, and he sat me down, he told me he would always look out for me, and he has, in every way. Matt told me that family is like a clock. It has loads of cogs to make it work, and one of our cogs has been taken away. So one of our cogs has been taken away, and Matt told me that he'd always do his best to keep our clock running, and he has. He's always there to show me when I'm wrong, help me understand how to do right, be there as a brother whenever I've needed him, or I just want to come around to hang out and get a free takeaway. And Matt's always there for us. He loves us all, and we all love him too, so much. I know that Mum and Dad are so proud of him, starting his new chapter with his beautiful wife, Steph. Matt, you are an amazing man, and I'm so glad that you've met an amazing woman, that you can share your life together, and that you're so happy. I love you both so much. Thank you for always being here for me, and I hope you enjoy your day. So, I know we've already had the toast, but if you don't want to raise your glass again to Matt and Steph. So here's to Matt and Steph again, eh? Right, I'll hand you back over to Prav now, shall I? Yeah, mate. Cheers, mate. Nice shot. Well done, mate. Nice shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll all agree that it's not easy standing up here and delivering the speeches. I'm sure there have been many sleepless nights thinking about what to say. So please can we show our appreciation with another huge round of applause, please, for all the wedding speeches.